Yo, this is a motherfucker who needs no introduction. You are watching Breaking Records Radio.
You are now tuned in to Breaking Records Radio. My name is Alex, and I have here with me a true vet in hip-hop culture. From the streets of Brownsville to charting success as part of the legendary M.O.P. with Lil Fame, to solo material such as the new project dropping soon titled The Listening Session. I'm talking, of course, about Billy Danze. What's good, my man?
I'm good, buddy. Thank you for having me, man. I appreciate it. And you made me sound like a superhero. Thank you.
Of course. In hip-hop culture, you most certainly are.
That's good. That's good to know, right? I'm glad somebody appreciates me, man.
Of course. So I want to talk about the new project that's coming out, but first, I like to start it off with some history, if that's okay with yourself.
Let's go.
So I've heard the story about the first time recording How About Some Hardcore, but from what I've gathered, that you already knew Fame at that period of time. How did you and Lil Fame actually end up meeting?
That's the funniest question, bro, and neither one of us can answer that question because we've known each other so long that we don't remember exactly where we met or how we met.
Gotcha.
It's kind of like we just, as far back as we can remember, as I can remember, and I asked Fame myself, like, do he remember? He said no. So as far back as we can remember, we were just together, and that was that's kind of it. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha. So you were childhood friends, anyhow.
Yeah.
So when did you actually end up rapping? Because I know that the first time that you ended up going into the studio was for that recording session for How About Some Hardcore. And you have a story associated with that, and maybe we can touch on that a little bit. But in terms of rapping, you were clearly already a rapper prior to that. When did you actually end up picking up a pen or freestyling in a park? When was your kind of first steps into hip-hop culture?
Well, that was years before that. Like, even when I was a kid, before I could put words together, my sister gave this name, Baby D. I don't know why. I don't know why she would call me Baby D. And, we would just recite, local rappers' lyrics. And as I got older, in school, I started writing lyrics and things like that. So it was years before I actually went to a studio that I would kind of call myself a rapper. I don't know if I could call myself a rapper then, but it was years before I actually went into a recording studio to record my very first record. So I've been doing it a long time.
Gotcha.
What I mean? Even before I present it to the world. So it's kind of a part of my life. You know what I mean?
Prior to the recording studio, when you were actually, well, I guess when you were like practicing, right? At that period of time, were you focused on being a rapper, or were you kind of, I guess, dabbling in different elements, let it be breakdancing or graffiti or what have you?
Well, I definitely would dabble in all different areas, breakdance, graffiti, everything,
Sure.
Rapping. But it was never something that I would take serious because the rappers that were popular at the time, whether they were local rappers or guys that were actually in the industry, there was no way in my head that I could make it that far. So it was something that, more like a hobby kind of deal or just a part of the everyday life for myself and the cats around me to be able to, whoever rapped, you rapped a little bit. You really never got that much praisal for it because there was a few other people that did it, and it wasn't that explosive at the time.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? So it was never something that I took like, I'm going to do this for real, because I didn't see no way to win with that, especially with all the negative influence that was around us at the time.
Yeah, you have to be presented with an opportunity before you realize that an opportunity exists.
And even then, you don't even realize it, especially in our day. Like, we didn't realize who could actually have said that I was going to come from the streets of Brooklyn and make it to where I am now. Traveled the world 5 times, worked with everybody who's anybody in the business, made a ridiculous amount of money, and still going. Who would have thought that? You know what I'm saying? So the opportunity was obviously there because there was cats like Big Daddy Kane who was across town. And I didn't even realize it because to be an actual professional rapper was so far out of my reach as far as I knew. You know what I'm saying? So, but everything happens for a reason, right, brother?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and obviously you made it where you are now, and that's what matters.
Just vibe with you, vibe with you.
Right now she on an elevator. I'm not trying to waste your time or give you all of mine. I just wanna
vibe with your vibes.
I don't wanna keep your heart, but I can tell you